to you by Ford, the total performance cars for 65. Ford, Fairlane, Falcon, Mustang, Thunderbird. And now let's all play What's My Line? And now, from New York, let's meet our What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And on my left, the delightful star of the new comedy movie Fluffy, about a lion, Mr. Tony Randall.
It's good to see you back. On my left, a charming and lovely lady whom it's always a pleasure to introduce, Arlene Francis.
And now that distinguished president of Random House, who is covering so many cities in this following week that I think he may be running for president of another kind. He's going to tell you about his travels, and I'll tell you his name is Bennett Cerf.
Well, it's going to be quite a week for me. I'm having breakfast in New York tomorrow morning, lunch in San Francisco, and dinner in Reno, Nevada. Then Tuesday night, Boise, Idaho, and Wednesday, El Camino College outside of Los Angeles, Thursday, San Bernardino, and Friday, Bellevue, Washington, outside of Seattle, and Saturday, back home in New York. That's the fun of being a publisher. Well, this is National Library Week, and I think a wonderful way to inaugurate it would be for John Daly to go into one of our public libraries and look up some of those words he tosses around every Sunday night. Here he is, Wordy John Charles Daly.
I must say, Bennett, professional librarianship is for people who love books and people, and I think you'd have made a very fine librarian. I must say, young men and women in college today could do well to choose a career in public library or business or college or school libraries, and then they get to know you, too.
John, the teachers and librarians of this country are the people who are training the kids of the next generation, and I don't think we give them the due that's coming to them.
Well, we'll do it this week, because this is National Library Week. Dorothy Kilgallen is back home with us. Dorothy, we know that arm is giving you a dreadful amount of trouble, and we hope that it eases up for all time now, and it's wonderful to see you sitting there.
Thank you, John. It's wonderful to be back.
And Tony, welcome back, too.
Thank you.
Well, we have much to celebrate tonight, and we've done it with some very interesting occupations. We'll also have a famous mystery guest before my friends on the panel a little bit later in the program, and we'll meet our first challenger after this word from Kellogg's.
Before you invest in any new car, invest 15 minutes, that's all. 15 minutes in a test drive of Ford's new LTD. We think you'll find it's the best time yet to go Ford. One reason, quiet. As you know, an LTD with a standard 289 cubic inch V8 and Cruise-O-Matic drive rode more quietly in tests than a new Rolls-Royce. And that's quiet. Take a minute to look into Ford's fabulous options. The swing-away steering wheel, the safety convenience control panel for your greater peace of mind. Discover such standard features on the four-door LTD as center armrest and silent flow ventilation. This is the only low-priced car to provide instant fresh air with the windows up. So take time out for a test drive. You'll see, it's the best time yet, in the best year yet, to go Ford.
And now you've all met Kelly Ford. Well, panel, let's see what we can do. Let's meet our first contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Penny Penny Early. Is that right? You nervous, Miss?
No.
Is it Miss or Mrs.?
Miss.
You're not nervous, Miss Early?
No.
No. Good. Well, it doesn't make much difference. You're so pretty anyway, so don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Would you tell us where you're from, Miss Early?
Chicago.
Chicago. Well, it's nice to have you with us. Miss Early, may I present our panel?
Hi.
Now, would you join me over here? And we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we can tell you that Miss Early is salaried and deals in a service, and we will begin the general questioning with Bennett Cerf.
Miss Early, we've been talking about librarians, and you're pretty enough to be one, but may I eliminate librarians from your occupation?
Yes.
Too bad, you'd be a good one. Is the service that you supply, Miss Early, done for human beings?
Yes.
You paused a bit in your reply. Does it also involve animals of any kind?
Yes.
Would the animals be domestic animals?
Yes.
Are they four-legged animals?
Yes.
Are they animals that might be found inside the house?
No.
An interesting thought, though. That's one down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Miss Early, are they animals the type that you could get on and ride?
Yes.
Would this be something that wouldn't be terribly unusual?
No.
When you mean when you...
I mean, would it, well, I'll ask it the right way.
Yeah.
Would it be a normal thing to do under a given set of circumstances?
You mean to get on the animal in question
and
ride?
around?
Yes,
I
it
mean,
would be. Mm-hmm.
This is not an animal that's just raised to be eaten, for instance.
No.
Is it the kind that is ever eaten, even in France?
It's an unpleasant thought, yes.
Okay. But the type that you are dealing with is bred for something else. Is that
Yes.
correct? Would it be in the equine family?
Yes.
You have something to do with four-legged horses, right?
Yes.
The only kind.
No.
The only kind to have, anyway.
Miss Early, do these horses have a particular interest in, or do their owners have a particular interest in the rate of speed at which they can run?
Yes.
Are they race horses?
Yes.
You have something to do with race horses. Do you
Yes.
breed them?
No.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Randall.
Do you have something to do with their running about?
Yes.
That is to say, you actually are concerned with their operations and are not sitting in the stands clocking them or making book.
Yes.
Have you something to do with training them?
No.
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, you're not an exercise boy, but you may be an exercise girl. Do you walk
Right.
the horses? Well, that's what I meant when I said training.
And I think in the spirit of it, I should get some exercise.
But
so
that's what
will
I meant
so
when
do.
I said train them.
They don't train.
Well, they don't
just
train, they exercise.
But that's part of the training.
No, they
No.
cool them off.
No, actually, Miss Early works for and with a trainer, Mr. Tom Jolly, right? But she exercises the horses for Mr. Jolly. One day you hope to be a trainer,
Yeah.
right?
You
And,
throw out a stick and they run and bring it back to you?
Wow. What are you doing on Saturday? Maybe you'd like to go. You're down in Louisville now, aren't
Yes,
you?
we are.
And the Kentucky Derby is this Saturday. Will be, by the way, on CBS. And then 2 weeks later, the Preakness is run,
Who's
right?
walking the best in Kentucky these days?
Who are you betting on, Miss Early?
No favorites.
There. You ought to go in the diplomatic service. By golly, you've got all the careers in the world in front of you. Well, I think that it's very likely we'd have given them more trouble if everybody wasn't thinking about the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness coming up. But it was very nice to have you as a visitor, and thanks for coming with us on What's My Line. All right, let's see what we can do with the second challenger. Will you enter and sign in, please? Helen Boyle. How are you? Is it Miss or Mrs.? Mrs. Boyle.
Yes.
And where are you from, Mrs. Boyle?
Tamaqua, Pennsylvania.
Tamaqua?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yes.
All right, Mrs. Boyle, may I present our panel?
That'll do.
And now, if you'll come over here and join me, we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mrs. Boyle is salaried and deals in a product, and we will begin the general questioning with Tony Randall.
Is this a product, Mrs. Boyle, which is found in the home?
No, not in the home. That's one down and
Is that
nine
a
to go.
clever question?
Miss Francis?
Can men and women use your product?
They could.
Yes.
Is there, it's used out of doors?
Yes.
Is it larger than a bread box? Some are larger, John, she said.
No, not that.
Mm-hmm.
Very
No.
small bread box I was thinking of.
Yes. Pretty soon it'll be a crumb that you were talking about. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mrs. Boyle, whereabouts in Pennsylvania is Tamaqua?
Why, it's up near, past Allentown, about 54 miles.
Near what?
Oh, is that the Pennsylvania Dutch country?
Yes.
Has your product got anything whatever to do with the Pennsylvania Dutch people?
Well, no,
No, I don't think so. 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Mrs. Boyle, would you imagine that there were many cities where this particular object might be found outside of Pennsylvania?
Where the product itself might be found.
Something similar.
Outside of, yes.
Yes.
Is it something that an ordinary person could buy? You don't have to be a community to buy it, do you?
Let me have a small conference with Mrs. Boyle. Well, I would say here, Dorothy, that probably I'm not as sure about this fact as I should be. If you had reason to be interested in the product, the assumption would be that the logical application of the product would be admissible to anybody who made any inquiries, and if you wanted to buy, you could buy, I would say, if you had a need for it.
Would you think if I saw this object, if you had it out here on stage, that I would know what it was?
Yes, you would know.
You might. Now, this again, we'd have to, I would think you might, but then you might not. You know, you've seen a great many things a lot of other people haven't, so you might recognize it.
Is it hard rather than squishy or liquid?
Yes.
Is it made in any part of metal?
Yes.
Is it found at ground level or on the earth rather than at sea or in the air?
Yes.
Yes, I would think so.
Does it have any moving parts?
I don't think it has any moving parts. No, that's 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Randall.
Is this a manufactured product, Mrs. Boyle?
Yes, it is.
Am I right in assuming that it's the sort of product that is used peculiarly by a certain group of people?
Yes.
Is it used more by the government than by anyone else?
No.
No, I would think not. I might be found wrong in this, Tony, but I'm assuming that in its basic use, you'd probably find that non-governmental use, while considerable, while government use would be considerable, I think non-governmental use might be greater. Ms. Francis?
Does it hold anything at any time?
Does it hold anything at any time? No, I wouldn't say it holds anything at any time. That's 6 down and 4 to go,
catch
Mr. Cerf.
Mrs. Boyle, is there any steel in this product? No steel?
No, no steel. No, we wouldn't. No, so 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Mrs. Boyle, are men more likely to use this object than women?
Yes.
Are the men ever in uniform of any kind?
They could be.
Is this anything that would be so heavy that it would be difficult for a woman to pick up?
No. 8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Randall.
I must continue the line of reasoning that I was on, although I've already got a no on it. Yeah. Is its application in any way military?
Yeah, we would agree that it could be used in that area, yes.
Is it deadly?
It is a bit, actually.
Indeed. I'm thinking of something explosive. Is it that sort of thing?
It's in the family, I'd say, would it do? Yes.
I just have the feeling that she makes bullets.
No, but I'm going to put the...
What, dynamite?
Dynamite caps. You were very close, Tony. Very good.
I don't know why I thought she made explosives.
Mrs. Boyle is with the Atlas Powder Company and Atlas Chemical Company and makes... Actually, the blasting cap is relatively small, but it's put in various size sticks of dynamite, and they make quite a loving pair. And when they get together, things really begin to happen, right?
What does Mrs. Boyle do?
She makes the blasting caps.
What does that mean?
That she manufactures the blasting caps, puts together the blasting cap and what they call the match, the wire that reads from it.
You put the stuff in, and then you push it down in there like...
No, she makes the blasting cap, and then it goes into the dynamite room, you see, and there...
Do you happen to have one with you tonight?
Don't have a blasting cap.
Just had a thought.
How to clear the bed.
But one thing, I asked Mrs. Boyle beforehand if she wore any particular kind of costume, and she said that she wore a striped cotton pantsuit when she was working. And I said, well, if the panel might ask if you wear a costume of any kind, we would agree that's a costume. But they might also ask you if it would be possible to tell what you did from what you were wearing. She said, oh, no, they'd think you'd escaped from prison. Well, Mrs. Boyle, it was lovely to have you as a visitor. Hope you enjoyed being with us on What's My Line. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, here is a word from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Dennis James. You know, it's hard for me to believe that a woman would use all of this education just to feed a family. I got a cookbook here on Italian cooking, one on Oriental recipes, French cuisine. Why, if you read all of these books, you'd hardly have time to cook. No matter how carefully you read them, though, you would never, never, never find a recipe for one of the world's best-loved foods. Now, of course, there is a recipe for Kellogg's cornflakes, but that's a secret. You let Kellogg's do the work. You just pour them fresh and delicious, and you've got it made. That sure is appetizing looking, isn't it? Boy, they sure make great eating, too. It's a wonderful, easy way to enjoy the best to you each morning. The cooking is all done, but you do have to remember to do one thing. You have to remember to bring them home from the store. So next time you're shopping, remember to get Kellogg's cornflakes, will you? Do it soon, okay? Okay.
And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery challenger, for which, as you all know, the panel is blindfolded. Are the blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, John.
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you enter mystery challenger and sign in, please? All right, panel, as you know, a different form of questioning now. One question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise. And we will begin with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Mystery guest, are you in show business?
Non posso parlare bene e sto imparando l'inglese e devo imparare di più.
Ah, sì, grazie.
Mr. Randall, I'm glad somebody got that. I'll catch up with it later.
Is that a yes?
Yes, a yes. Mm-hmm.
Are you primarily a motion picture actress?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you better known for your work in the theater?
Sì, sì.
Ecco.
Sì.
Mr. Cerf?
When you are performing in the theater, do you ever raise your voice in melody?
Qualche cosa, sì.
Miss Kilgallen?
Are you also famous for raising your voice in melody on records and in television studios?
Sì, sì.
Mr. Randall?
Are you currently appearing in this area?
Sì, non stasera, sì.
Not tonight.
Miss Francis?
Are you about to do a big special on television this week?
Sì.
You're the
Shall we do it together?
inimitable Barbra Streisand.
Barbara. Miss Barbara, there has been so much in the papers about you, particularly in the last week or 10 days, because of Wednesday night is at 9 to 10 o'clock on CBS. My name is Barbara, she wrote up on the, on the board when she came in. And I want to, if I may, tell you something now that I think will please you. Our estimable and excellent crew, our cameramen and sound men, worked with Miss Streisand when they were doing some sections of the tape of the show, and they think that it's going to be one of the great successes of all time.
Well, they know.
They're the real pros. If they like it,
so.
everybody.
Are you going to sing people on the
Why not?
Why not? Right.
She couldn't get off without it.
Well, I wish she could sing it for us.
Well, well, also with your permission, we can all wish her happy birthday. It was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes, thank you.
23 years old yesterday. Many, many happy returns to the day. Panel, we'll have to agree you've done rather well and give you some congratulations, and we'll have another contestant after this word.
You hear it everywhere. In Philadelphia, particular about taste.
You bet I'm particular, and my pell-mells prove it.
In Charleston.
You bet I'm particular, and my pell-mells prove it.
In Santa Fe.
You bet I'm particular, and my pell-mells prove it.
Why? Because Pell-Mel's natural mildness means just one thing: smooth, pleasing flavor. It's the particular flavor you get from Pell-Mel's famous length of the finest tobaccos money can buy.
Particular people take particular pleasure in the good taste of Pell-Mel.
Smoke a long cigarette that's long on flavor. Be particular. Buy Pell-Mel Famous Cigarettes. Outstanding. And they are mild. From the American Tobacco Company.
And now our final contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Dolores Joyner, right? All righty. Is it Miss or Mrs. Joyner?
Miss.
Miss Joyner, where are you from, ma'am?
Tampa, Florida.
Tampa? Well, are you in...
Now working in New York.
You're working, no, but you're from Tampa.
I'm from Tampa,
Right. All right. Miss Joyner, may I present the panel? Now, will you come over here and sit with me, and we'll let the audience at home and the audience in the theater know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we can tell you that Miss Joyner is salaried and deals in a service, and we'll begin with Arlene Francis.
Well, Miss Joyner, anybody'd be glad to have your service, I'm sure. Do your good looks pertain to your job in some way?
No.
One down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Miss Joyner, did you say you're working in New York now?
That's right.
Would it be, by any chance, in the neighborhood of the World's Fair?
Sometimes. It might enter into it.
It could, but I think it would be so confusing if you let that affirmative answer stand that we'll make it negative. 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, then, Miss Joyner, I gather that you sometimes travel from place to place in your job. Even if it's just a short trip, you are not set in one place. Do you generally work indoors?
Sometimes.
But you can work out of doors, too. When you work, do you wear ordinary street clothes?
No.
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Randall.
Do you work for a profit-making organization?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
I made a funny joke.
Did you tell Dorothy then that you do wear something other than ordinary street clothes?
Yes.
And she does not work for a profit?
Yes, I know.
That I certainly got.
I tried to establish it.
Is what you wear something that we might recognize if we saw it?
Yes.
Would it be considered a uniform of some kind?
Yes, it would.
Is it other than a government uniform?
No.
No, that's 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Miss Joyner, might it be a uniform of some branch of the United States Armed Services?
Yes, it would.
Well, now.
Don't you wish you
Can
were a
I
soldier?
I can eliminate the Marines, can't I?
Nobody can eliminate the Marines.
I might say the Marines would like to have Miss Joyner, too.
In the context of your question, yes, you can.
Is it, by any chance, the Navy?
Yes, it is.
You do something with the Navy?
Yeah, I'm going to put it over, because actually...
Wave?
Well, actually, it's a wave, and it wouldn't be fair to it. Radio Man Second Class Joyner, please, sir. Oh, yes. Miss Joyner knows my grade record. I'm the oldest lieutenant, junior grade, in grade, retired United States Naval Reserve. And this weekend I had a wonderful weekend. I went to the Doolittle Tokyo Raiders reunion in Dayton. And gee, the whole town just was wonderful to us. But this is, they had admirals all over the place, and I'm the oldest lieutenant, junior grade, in grade, retired. And they nearly threw me out of them before I got through, because I said it all the time. But this was also Miss Armed Forces for the Navy for 1965. And that
couldn't be better.
It really could be. Thanks very much for being with us. Nice to have you. Once again, Dorothy, it's wonderful to have you home. I'm afraid I've used up all our time. Tony, come back real soon. And for all of us, with your permission, I will say good night and thanks for being with us on What's My Line.
What's My Line is a CBS television network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Cotton. This is Johnny Olson speaking. Watch the Beverly Hillbillies over most of these same CBS stations. What's My Line was brought to you by Kellogg's Cereals, the best to you each morning from Kellogg's of Battle Creek.